And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the latest edition of Tornado Talk, where we talk all things Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Glad you're able to join us on this show, our maiden voyage of 2025. A big happy new year from all of us at NATO Nation, and to all of you in NATO Nation. Really appreciate the ongoing support of Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Plenty to catch you up on. We're going to be talking a lot of basketball on this show, but one other winter sport that's happening as we speak, indoor track and field. They'll be at the Mondo Invitational in Winston-Salem, North Carolina this weekend. Best of luck to the indoor track and field team. Noah Westbrook, when we were away over the winter break, won a USA South Field Athlete of the Week award. So big congratulations to Noah. That brings us to basketball, and let's start on the women's side, where the women's basketball team is off to a great start, 10-3 overall, 5-1 in the USA South Conference, coming off a couple of impressive USA South Conference wins as of late, a 65-43 win over Meredith, followed by a 74-59 win over Methodist. Josie Hester, a record-breaking performance, wins USA South Conference Player of the Week. We'll be talking a lot more about that performance and the Tornadoes women's basketball team later in the show. Women's basketball will be at home for its next three contests, including this Wednesday, 7 o'clock at the Bosch. Looking forward to packing the Bosch. The students are back on campus for the start of the spring semester and looking for a big crowd there. Hope to see you there as well as the Tornadoes take on Pfeiffer 7 o'clock this Wednesday. And then this weekend, 2 o'clock on Saturday at the Bosch, the women's basketball team will be in action in a big one versus Southern Virginia. Southern Virginia currently in first place in the USA South Conference. The Tornadoes in second place. This game very well could determine who has the authority on those standings heading down the stretch here in the USA South Conference. The men's team off to a good start as well, 7-6 overall, 2-2 in the USA South Conference, and a couple of big wins over the weekend. On Friday, the Tornadoes win 85-70 over Methodist, and then that was followed up with a win over the preseason USA South Conference favorites, NC Wesleyan, as the Tornadoes took down NC Wesleyan 83-80. So some great momentum for the men's basketball team. Twain Wilson, for the fourth time this season, wins USA South Rookie of the Week. It's the eighth time a Tornado has won a USA South Rookie of the Week honor, as Twain Wilson and Brennan Wansley have cleaned up with 8 of those awards. Pretty amazing stuff. Then the men's basketball team will be back in action, this time on the road at William Peace, 2 p.m. this Saturday, and that's on the road in Raleigh, North Carolina. And that brings us to head men's basketball coach Lee Burgess. Great to have Coach Burgess on board once again. Coach, how are you this evening?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Phil. Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Really looking forward to talking some hoops. What a weekend it was for the Tornadoes on both the men's and the women's side of things. But a couple big wins for Brevard, and look forward to breaking them down a bit with you, Coach. And let's start with that Friday game versus Methodist. This was originally scheduled to be played on Saturday. Mother Nature had other ideas. The game was rescheduled for Friday, and the Tornadoes come away with the 85-70 win. If you could reflect back a bit on the Friday win.
It's an odd weekend, just from a routine standpoint and kind of, what you can control, things that are out of your control. It was an odd weekend. So as you mentioned, we were supposed to play this game Saturday at 2, weather coming in. So we end up changing it to Friday at noon. So an odd start time of 12 o'clock, poor weather on the way in. So I think we had about four fans in the stands, plus Methodist women's team and our women's team who would play after us. That was it. I did feel like it took our guys a little while to get going in that game, just from an energy standpoint. But I thought that we had a very, very good second half. I thought we played with a lot of energy in that second half. I think Charlie having that dunk there early in the second half really got the juices going, to be honest. That really catapulted us to play better, to play with more energy and come away with a big win. So yeah, we needed it. You know, it had been a difficult start for us in league play. So to get that win, it was important. It was needed. And I thought our guys responded to some adverse circumstances.
Yeah, and one kind of finer point in the game, and it made a big difference, I believe, was the turnover battle. And both teams a little sloppy out of the gate, maybe because of the strange start time and that kind of thing. But then the Tornadoes really locked it down, protecting the ball a long stretch without a turnover whatsoever, and really flipped the switch in that department.
Yeah, 10 turnovers in the game. And one of them was us dribbling out the shot clock at the very end, to not get a shot up. So really 9 turnovers in that game, and 5 of them in the first 6 minutes. So, we played 6 minutes of basketball with 5 turnovers, and then 34 minutes basically with 4. That was a huge part of us being able to come out, on top. We had, turned it over 18 times against Southern Virginia, 17 times against Mary Baldwin. And it's just really hard to win games when you're turning it over at that clip. And something we did talk to our guys about. We needed to really screw down tighter on, and unfortunately we were able to do that in both of these games. But yeah, Methodist for sure, 10 turnovers, and we've got a very talented offensive team. And if we can just get a somewhat quality shot up on rim every time, then we're going to be a difficult team to deal with, because we do have a lot of talented players that are pretty efficient scoring the ball.
Yeah, shot over 60% in that one, and the win over Methodist. And do want to also mention, we're going to have him on the show in a few minutes, but KK Horton, what a performance here. 13 points. He breaks the school record with 10 assists, 8 rebounds, just 2 rebounds shy from the triple double. Coach, would love to hear what you have to say about KK and how he played on Friday.
He played great. I mean, the 10 assists with 2 turnovers, so a 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, which is awesome. I feel like he had 7 rebounds pretty quickly in that game, and I guess couldn't quite scratch and claw that way to that triple double, which would have been awesome. But yeah, the stat line speaks for itself. KK he's got the ball in his hands a lot for us. He's one of our better playmakers in terms of the ability to score it, to create his own shot, but also distribute it to others. He's our best guy, really, when you combine all of those things. He's our best guy being able to do that. Really have worked with him, talked to him. I really worked with him, but talked to him about taking care of the ball. And he took that to heart, really in this weekend. And we'll need that moving forward from him, because, again, he's going to have it in his hands a lot. His minutes have increased, with Drew being out, and he's definitely, taken advantage of those extra minutes. Played really well for us.
So the Tornadoes defeat Methodist with the odd circumstances on Friday with the noon start time and so forth. Then you have to regroup on Sunday and take on NC Wesleyan, a team that comes in having won a pair of games themselves, so some momentum on NC Wesleyan's side. And NC Wesleyan, a very talented team picked by the coaches to win the USA South Conference, and the Tornadoes come away with an 83-80 win. And this was a game, Coach, that the Tornadoes were down by double digits in the first half and able to work their way back and take charge.
Yeah, I think we're down 15 was our largest deficit there in the first half, and we definitely had to stick with it and really, not panic, but understand the seriousness of the task at hand, which I thought we did a really good job of. We went into the locker room with 8 turnovers. We ended up getting the game back right at halftime. Halftime was a tight game. I think we were down 1 or 2 at half, but 8 turnovers in the first half. And so listen, let's try to get in this at the end of this game. Let's try to get in with 13 or less. And if we can do that, we got a great shot, I think. We came back with 11. We had 3 turnovers in the second half. So, I'll be talking to our guys a lot about that tomorrow, and hopefully, they see it, that they can see the fruits of that labor. Like, hey, this is a big deal. If we can take care of the ball and not spit it out easily, we're a hard team to deal with. Again, North Carolina Wesleyan is very athletic. They have good size and strength. They've got good one-on-one players. And it was, you know, a game I felt like both teams took very seriously for good reason. You know, North Carolina Wesleyan picked to win the league. I think our guys felt like we should be competitive at the top of the league as well, which I think they're right. We should be. And both these teams started 0-2 in league play. And then North Carolina Wesleyan got a win against Greensboro before they played us. So both teams come into it 1-2, and one team's going to leave 1-3, and that's you know not the best spot to be in when you're a team that feels like you should be competitive at the top of the league. So I thought we took a really good shot from North Carolina Wesleyan. I think they got a good shot from us, and we were able to come out on top with a you know, really a very solid performance. I would say probably for 28, 30 of those minutes, we played really, really well.
Yeah, and 2 tornadoes in that one, hitting the 20-point threshold. Charlie Hester, and then also Twain Wilson, who we'll have on the show as well, wins another USA South Conference Rookie of the Week award with 24 points.
Yeah, Twain was super consistent throughout. We're going to talk about him more as he comes on, I'm sure. I thought Charlie's threes really kept us within, you know, kept the boat afloat. The threes that Charlie made were really during a stretch where we weren't playing well, and really kept them in sight of us. You know, if we didn't have those threes from Charlie in the first half, it could have gotten even worse than what it did. So those were huge. And then to be able to put up 20, he had some you know, some big plays in the second half as well, some big free throws that he made, great driving layup as well. I mean, he was good throughout. And you know, he hasn't had many games where he's had scoring outbursts like the one he had. And that's the beauty, I think, of our team is one game is going to be this guy, and another game is going to be another guy, another game is going to be another guy. And I think we're averaging 5 guys in double figures, with Charlie being one of them, and both these guys that are going to be on, Twain and KK, being 2 of the others. And so we're a difficult team to prepare for. Again, when we take care of the ball, it's hard to focus on 1 or 2 guys.
So first 4 games of the USA South Conference schedule in the books, and, you know, 4 games that happen during the winter break, school back in session tomorrow with the spring semester starting up. Then the Tornadoes will be back in action on Saturday in Raleigh, North Carolina at William Peace. Love to hear from you, Coach, as far as the week ahead, sort of this juncture of the season, and, you know, what it means for the Tornadoes to continue the success.
Well, the first thing about, you know, the week ahead, that we took a day off today, which we needed tremendously. You know, Monday was backing up to last week, just to give everybody kind of a glimpse of what our week looked like. Monday, we were supposed to leave. We did leave to go to Mary Baldwin to play Tuesday. There was a big snowstorm up in Virginia Sunday into Monday. So we didn't get to drive all the way to Mary Baldwin on Monday. We had to stop 2.5 hours south to spend the night Monday night, and then go the rest of 2.5 hours day of the game to go play that game. So a little bit out of our routine there. We got smacked. I don't think the trip had anything to do with it. We just got smacked. But rather than take off Wednesday or go really light Wednesday, I felt like we needed to go hard on Wednesday. And so we got back at 1:30 in the morning, Tuesday morning, and we practiced Tuesday night. It was a hard practice. Our guys responded well, and we had another hard practice on Thursday to prepare for the game on Friday, and played the game on Friday. Went pretty light on Saturday, and then played another game on Sunday. So we earned a day off today. So took the day off today and let the bodies recover a little bit. But now we've got 4 good days to prepare for Saturday. So we'll get back out on the practice floor tomorrow, and have 4 solid days of prep, getting ready for the rest of what the season looks like.
Outstanding. So Tornadoes on the road this weekend. Next chance for Tornado fans to see the men's basketball team Tuesday, January 21st. So a week from tomorrow versus Pfeiffer at the Bosch. That's part of a doubleheader with the women's team, a 5:30 p.m. start time. Coach, if you can stick with us just a couple moments longer, we've got 2 of your student athletes here, the aforementioned KK Horton and Twain Wilson. We're going to invite them into the program. Coach, we spoke about these 2 as far as their, immediate performances that we saw over the weekend, but maybe tell NATO Nation a little more, perhaps what they don't see in the stat sheet.
Yeah, well, not the stat sheet. These are 2 of the guys on our team with the better hair of the guys on our team. Both these guys have phenomenal heads of hair and show that off. So that's something they definitely don't see in the stat sheet. KK rocking the hat today, but yeah, it's so some hair for sure. But both these guys have great personalities. They're great to be around. They're great teammates. They go about things the right way. And I think that they both have the respect of their teammates because they know they're about the right things. The stat sheet is what it is. They both can stuff it and stuff it well. But we're super thankful they're part of our program.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, best of luck with the week ahead. Looking forward to catching up with you further here at the Bosch as well. But great job this weekend. Two real quality wins. Great stuff. It was great to be witness to that. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, there goes head coach Lee Burgess. And as he helped introduce these two, we've got KK Horton in that upper right corner. How are you, KK?
Good, Phil. How you doing?
Doing great. Great to have you aboard. And also making his Tornado Talk debut, Twain Wilson. How are you, Twain?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Great to have you guys aboard. Well, what a weekend, huh? Kind of wild stuff. If you think back at it, Friday, the storm's coming in. The powers to be decide that they're going to reschedule this deal and we're going to play it on Friday at noon. And the Tornadoes come through with the 85-70 win. Let's start with KK Horton. What a game he had. 10 assists, breaking a school record, 13 points and 8 rebounds. KK, take us through that Methodist game from your perspective, and what were the circumstances that allowed for you to put up those big numbers? 2 rebounds away from a triple double.
Yeah, I think coming into the game, I think the whole team kind of knew that we needed this win, losing to Southern Virginia and Mary Baldwin on the road. Southern Virginia at home and Mary Baldwin on the road. I think the whole team kind of knew, like, yeah, we need this win in the conference because we can't start out 0-3 and be at the bottom of the list. So all of our mentality was kind of high. Like we came into the game like, kind of telling ourselves that we need the win. We can't go into line any of that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And KK, I'm curious, was there the awareness that you were just a couple rebounds shy of that triple double?
Yeah, I knew it because everybody was telling me I needed like 2 more rebounds, man. I was just like, yeah, I mean, I knew it. I knew it. I needed 2 more.
Yeah, regardless, unbelievable. 13 points, 10 assists in 8 rebounds. And as Coach mentioned, you protected the ball in a big way, allowing just the 2 turnovers. Twain Wilson with us as well. That Methodist game, Twain, if you can think back to it, yourself, 14 points, 6 rebounds, a big part of that win. But that was big for you guys to get this thing rolling, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what did you think was the difference in that Methodist game? Things back and forth early on, but ultimately Tornadoes took over in that second half.
I feel like we started off pretty good. I mean, we didn't have the best first half, but I feel like during the second half, in the locker room, the coach was telling us that we needed to rebound, get the ball moving, push it in fast break. But I think what rebounds is what kept us in. And the coaches were telling me that I had to get in there and rebound because, we don't have a big team. Bunch of undersized guards, so I just did my best and did my job with getting rebounds that game.
Yeah, and Twain, if you remember, in that second half, there was a wild stretch, and it was an 8-0 run by the Tornadoes. It completely changed the tone of the game. Part of it was, well, it is actually started by a jumper by yourself, but then not long after that was this Charlie Hester dunk that completely, just sort of sent shockwaves through the Bosch. And then, there was a couple other quick ones. You guys were just running the floor like crazy, finishing all over the place. Love for you to talk about that sequence, the Charlie Hester dunk, but also, how you guys really picked up the momentum there with that 8-0 run.
I would say that we are a team that feeds off energy. So it's like, coming from half court and I seen KK pass the ball up to Charlie and him going up for the dunk absolutely blew my mind. And then I seen the bench going crazy. I couldn't believe actually what happened. They ended up calling a timeout, and then we came back on the court and then we just kept going on that run.
KK, can you add to that as far as, what that stretch meant to the Tornadoes, and tell us a little more about the Hester dunk?
Yeah, Charlie's dunk was the spark we kind of needed because in the first half, I think our energy was kind of low, and just I guess seeing him going up because we knew Charlie can dunk, but we didn't know he was gonna body that kid. So that was that was a sport that gave us, you know, a lot of energy to keep going. And that just after that, I felt like I kind of knew like we were gonna win.
Yeah,
Our
just
energy
just
was high.
yeah, electrifying dunk completely. I saw the reaction from the bench, and you guys just kept on with the pedal to the metal from that point forward. Well, then you have the Saturday off, and you know snow hits Brevard, all these things, but then back to work on Sunday against NC Wesleyan, and Tornadoes able to come up with the big 83-80 win. KK, you know, tell us a little bit about the mentality heading into that NC Wesleyan game. You guys, what was the discussion like as far as what you guys needed to do to get that W?
Going into that game, we knew NC Wesleyan was gonna be a tough game. Playing them last year, they brought the same guys back. They're always a tough team to play, whether we're playing at their place or our place. I think our mentality was like to keep number 32 Kelly kind of out the paint and don't really let the ball get in the paint. That really helped us out because he didn't have like one of his best games, and that was our plan. And I think we slowed their guards down towards the second half, and we started playing. So I think we did really well with that.
Yeah, you're right. Limited Kelly to just 3 points. Meanwhile, Twain Wilson, a career high 24 points in this one. Shooting lights out, 9 of 12 from the field. He hit 3 3-pointers. Tell us a little bit about your afternoon, Twain. You know, beyond obviously, you know, you scoring that career high, but how did it feel out there? You know, was everything coming easy? Who was setting you up? That kind of thing.
I feel like before the game started, I knew I had to lock in. I knew this was a game that the team was going to need me, and I had to do my job out there. But I think after the first couple shots, I had a couple of mid-range buckets, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is the game I'm about to, you know. And I think I had 11 in the half. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to continue to do what I can do with this team. And, you know, my teammates were finding me, and they were just out there trusting me to shoot the ball. And I'm glad I was able to knock down the shots.
Yeah, great stuff. Congrats, not only on that performance, Twain, but another USA South Rookie of the Week honor. You're just cleaning these up now, 4-time winner, along with Brendan Wansley. Between the two of you guys, I mean, they might as well rename the award, at the USA South Conference, the way we're cleaning up these Rookie of the Week awards. Well, looking ahead, no midweek game this week. Classes back in session, and then action on Saturday, another road trip, hitting the road to play William Peace. KK, what's going to be the key this week and then moving forward to continue the success?
Just keep locking in on our scout, keep watching film on Peace, and not letting taking anyone lightly. I think sometimes we kind of struggle with because I think as a team we know we're really good, and sometimes we might not underestimate but take some teams easy. So I think if we attack every team with the right mindset that we know we got to kill, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Well, Twain, great to have you on board here on your debut here on Tornado Talk. Tell us a little bit about your basketball background and how you found your way to Brevard.
I played basketball all my life. Started around 3-4 years old. My dad was always teaching me how to play basketball outside. But I was playing basketball in Hawaii from, I think, 10th grade to 12th. So, in Hawaii, it's hard to get exposure and, really get out there. So I was just sending emails around the East Coast, near family so that, I could be around them while I pursue my dream playing basketball. And then Coach Burgess, he related to my story. He grew up in Hawaii. He had 4 siblings, and the oldest of 5. So, we just connected after that. And then I got on a call with him. He was telling me that there was one more spot left, and I just took the opportunity from there.
Really cool stuff. Appreciate you sharing that with us. I wasn't aware entirely of the Hawaii connection. So awesome stuff there. Glad you're able to find your way here to the mountains of Western North Carolina. KK Horton, most NATO fans watching this program have seen you around and know you. But if you can reflect back a little bit, a little different, you come from nearby Asheville, North Carolina. But tell us a little bit of if you can reflect back when you became a Tornado and, what that felt like, what that meant, and, that decision-making process.
Yeah, for sure. My senior year, I was at Asheville Christian Academy. It took me a while to commit to a school. I committed to Brevard. I think it was late July or August that year I was supposed to come. And I think, I really took that time to process where to go to school. And I'm glad I picked Brevard because it's close to home. I already kind of knew about the team. I used to I had friends that was from Ashwood that a few of my friends that went to Brevard, so I was kind of connected with Brevard already. So I'm glad I chose to come here.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Great to have you guys both aboard, and great thing we got going this year with this men's basketball team. Can't wait to see what's around the next corner. Well, before we let you guys go, let's take it to the classroom. KK, senior year, tell us what you're majoring in, what you're working on academically.
Majoring in exercise science. Hopefully pushing towards going as a personal trainer in the future.
Very good. An excellent program here at Brevard College, without a doubt. Twain, freshman year, have you decided on a major and course of study for yourself?
Looking into the criminal justice system right now. I heard the school has, they're super big on that.
Very good. Another great program if you decide to go that route. Well, before we let you guys go, KK knows the drill. Twain, we'll show you the drill here in just a moment. Shout outs and thank yous. Each student athlete who joins Tornado Talk has the opportunity. You get the floor. You get to give, shout outs to whoever, might be watching or who might have helped you along the way, or who you just want to say hello to. KK, get us started.
Shout out to my parents, my mom and dad, for always supporting me and my family. And, shout out to my guys, my teammates, man. Appreciate y'all. Love them.
Very good. Twain Wilson, same opportunity for you. Got any shout outs for us?
Yes, sir. I want to thank my family back in Hawaii, always looking out for me, making sure that I'm good. And I want to thank the coaches, teammates, always making sure that, I'm good as well. And then, Heavenly Father, man above, he's the reason I'm here right now.
Nicely done, Twain Wilson. Really appreciate you. Yeah, but early afternoon in Hawaii. If we've got any viewers, who have tuned in here on the internet, aloha from all of us at NATO Nation. Twain Wilson, KK Horton. Hey, you guys, just outstanding stuff over the weekend and so far this season. Really have enjoyed witnessing that, and can't wait to see what's around the next corner. Great job tonight on Tornado Talk. Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Phil.
All right, we're going to switch gears now and head towards the women's side, who have continued their success as well this season. Great to have once again with us head women's basketball coach Donald Hudson. Coach Hudson, how are you this evening?
What's going on, Phil? Happy New Year to you, man.
Yeah, 2025, here we are, and what a start for the BC women's basketball team. 10-3 overall this season, 5-1 in the USA South Conference. Before we get into some specifics, these last couple games and so forth, Coach, would love for your thoughts as far as, hey, these first 13 games of the season, this first 6 games of the conference schedule, where are we at with this women's basketball team?
Okay. And just coming off of entering right now what I like to call the early portion of the second half, kind of the early third quarter portion of the season, and evaluating the first half, Phil, of course, I'm going to always find things to nitpick and things that we can get better with, smaller things that I think will be bigger things later on as the year goes on. But we're playing solid basketball right now. Solid basketball. We're doing the things that we're coached to do in practice. Can we do those things a little bit better? Absolutely, 100%. And we will. But right now, I think we're playing pretty good offense. Can be better. Can find more what I like to call green shots. We're taking a lot of makeable shots at times. We have some talented players on our team, so those are makeable shots, but there's better shots out there for us. So we move the ball a little bit more and cut a little bit harder, play with a little bit more urgency. I think we'll start to see that offensive efficiency go up, getting better shots towards around the rim and getting greens. On the defensive side, I think we're doing enough with our zone. Our rebounding needs to be a little bit better. In my opinion, defense is you can't finish it until you rebound. So rebounding is a big part of defense. So we're getting first shot stops, but teams are kind of going to the offensive glass on us, getting second and third attempts, and that's impacting us some. But overall, Phil, we're able to overcome those things. I think we're in a good spot. The team is playing well. The team is cohesive right now. Good break. Over break, that's one of my favorite parts of the year. It's nothing but us, the men's team here. We're just focusing on getting better at the things that we need to get better on. And I think we had a good last 2 weeks on campus, and looking forward to watching us the rest of the year, Phil. Doing some good things right now, but I think our best basketball is still in front of us. So that will be my critique of the first half of the season. Solid, but it's a lot more still out there. Looking forward to watching us play down the stretch.
Very good. Makes a lot of sense. Tornadoes, most recently, a 65-43 win over Meredith on the road. And then we just talked to Coach Burgess, a change in the schedule where the Tornadoes had to take on Methodist on Friday, originally scheduled to be played on Saturday as the snow was coming into the region and so forth. And the Tornadoes took care of business. And this was a critical game in the USA South Conference standings. These two teams tied for second place right behind Southern Virginia. More on them in just a bit. But Tornadoes able to come away with a 15-point win versus Methodist. Huge day from Josie Hester, and the Tornadoes get it done. That was a big win, correct, Coach?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And before I continue with us, I want to shout out the men for a nice weekend and 2 big wins in conference. Winning those games at home, they pay dividends late in the season. So shout out to the men for taking care of business. And moving back to us in our last 2, I'll go at Meredith and then work my way to Methodist this past weekend. Meredith has historically for us has been a tough place to shoot the ball, a tough place to play. And we know that going into that game. So we know that's a game where our defense is going to really, really have to step up and kind of guide us through the game until we get some easy ones, until we get some runouts, until we get some layups, get some free throws. And I thought that game went that way. Early in that game, like first half, we didn't shoot the ball extremely well, but our defense was okay. Defense was right there. Found a little bit of separation in the third quarter. They cut our lead some, but then we were able to kind of pull away late. And I wouldn't say a comfortable win. To me, nothing's ever comfortable in college basketball, but a win where we kind of were able to come to get a few bodies in late, and get some players in that don't get to ordinarily play in every game. And anytime you can win on the road in conference, it's a big win. This was our first conference game coming off of break. We went over to UNC Asheville for an exhibition, but going to Raleigh the night before and waking up and going to get that win, I don't take that lightly. And I'll move on to Methodist now. And just like LB said earlier, a lot of external factors that kind of played part in that game. The game was supposed to be played at Saturday at 4 for us, but it was moved to Friday at 2 because of weather. And shout out to the team. I want to shout out to my team for not letting those factors kind of get into our minds or impact our mentality. Playing against Methodist, a team that beat us right before the break in a really close game, a game that went back and forth, a game, in my opinion, that could have gone either way. We didn't make the plays late. We all learned from it. And as brutal as it was, Phil, we went back and watched that game and watched the entire game. We watched the ending of it. We saw things throughout the middle portion of the game that kind of impacted everything. And my message to the team was you just never know what play can be your undoing late. In a 1-possession game, you missed 7 free throws. In a 1-possession game, we missed a lot of chippies around the basket. In a 1-possession game, we gave them second and third opportunities and some breakdowns defensively. So those were all points of emphasis going into this one. And I tell you what, Phil, the squad was locked in. I knew we were going to be ready to play for sure because of how that game ended and us knowing how much this game meant at home. I knew from a mentality standpoint we were going to be ready to attack the floor. And we did that, but along with being ready, you still have to go execute and play clean basketball. Just because you're ready and you're hyped up to play a team, that doesn't mean it's always going to go your way. It helps to come out with energy like that. And I thought we executed some things. Like you said, Joe got hot. The biggest thing was our defense, in my opinion, Phil. They were able to make a few runs here and there. We made a few tweaks. We threw different looks at them, tried to keep them off balance. And I thought we were really in tune to the game plan. Really good win for us at home. Talking more about Hester's performance, I've been around here for a long time. I've seen a lot of basketball in that gym, and that performance is up there with any of them, men or women. You never – like I know personally, I'm not counting in games of how many points she has or how many threes she's made, but you kind of feel it. And Joe whispered to me that she was close. And then from there, we just kind of enjoyed the show, the rest of the team and everything. We continued to defend at a high level, tried to find her in different spots. She had a hot hand. It was really fun to watch, really fun to be a part of. But shout out to my team, Phil. They're locked into the scouting report, took the court urgent. That's kind of been our word the last month and a half, and it's going to be our word going to the end of the season. Like playing urgent and playing with a sense of desperation. Like I think we have everything it takes to be a solid basketball team, but at times our sense of urgency can kind of not be where it needs to be, and it shows because when we do turn it on, we do play a certain way, it looks like a totally different team. And it's not just in games, Phil. I'm talking about practice right now. That's where it all starts with me. Practice. And we're getting to the point where we're starting to do everything with a sense of urgency, not just pick and choose when we want to do things with a sense of urgency, but everything. You know, I think it's going to show down the stretch. Looking forward to watching it. Sorry for that long answer.
No, great stuff, Coach. Really appreciate it. You know, the Tornadoes avenged that one blemish on the USA South Conference record versus Methodist. And you're right. The team was ready, prepared, and locked in throughout that matchup. You know, despite some external circumstances that could have been distracting, and big hat tip to the NATOs. Well, this is part of a 4-game home stretch. Meanwhile, you know, the Methodist game getting us started. We'll be back in action on Wednesday night at the Bosch, 7 o'clock versus Pfeiffer. Then there's 2 more to follow. Interesting part of the season schedule as well, Coach, where you've got these 4 home games, a chance to really capitalize on that opportunity playing at the Bosch.
Yeah, for sure, Phil. Any college coach will tell you playing at home. I mean, it doesn't guarantee anything, but it's where you practice every day. You know, it's where your kids sleep on the campus, and everything just feels like you're at home. You know, and teams typically play better at home. And we have to take advantage of this. You know, we started the year off pretty road heavy in November. We did a lot of traveling, and December kind of evened out a little bit. And we've talked about January being a part of the year where we really, really got to start to put it together and take advantage of our homestand. You know, we get an amazing crowd. We play better at home, you know, and just looking forward to it, Phil. You know, turning our attention now to Pfeiffer on Wednesday, a team that they were just playing. I was just watching their game versus Bob Jones. They were starting to pull away from them late. So a team that's going to come in here and make us work for it. You know, a scrappy team. I'm pretty good friends with their coach. You know, I know what she represents, and I know she's going to have them ready to play. But we'll be ready as well.
Yeah, Pfeiffer comes in 3-3 in the USA South Conference, and that'll be a big one. The students will be back on campus at the Bosch, so we've been waiting for that. So looking forward to packing the Bosch on Wednesday night and supporting the women's basketball team. And then Saturday, make sure you come on out. 2 o'clock Saturday versus Southern Virginia. Southern Virginia sits atop the USA South Conference with an undefeated record in conference play. So that one has huge implications as well. So yeah, big week, big opportunity for the Tornadoes to continue to catch, you know, the momentum that they're riding on currently. Great stuff, Coach. Really appreciate it. So in terms of this year's team, you know, a lot of familiar faces, some new contributors as well. But, you know, could you kind of describe this year's, you know, personality of the team, you know, and kind of, you know, what this edition of Brevard College women's basketball is all about?
You kind of just hit on it, Phil. You know, we got a lot back. We returned a lot back from last year's team, and that's been the case for like the last 3 to 4 years with this group. It's a group that's played a lot of basketball together for the most part, you know, and they've been around each other a ton off the court. And what that leads to, in my opinion, is a really, really what I like to call work environment. You know, like our practices and us being together and being around each other, to me, it's genuinely a good time. You know, I think it's just the amount of time they've been around each other. You know, and it's a good group to be around. You know, we've got a lot of veterans that are kind of showing our younger ones the way we do things around here. And at some point sooner than later, those younger ones that I'm talking about, it's going to be their turn, you know, and just a good work environment, Phil. You know, I come to work every day and I come to practice and I look forward to seeing the group, you know, and these are just things off the court. You know, on the court, you can see the cohesion. You can feel it. You know, at times it doesn't always look the way I want it to, but you can feel it and you can tell that this team has played a lot together over the last 3 to 4 seasons, you know, and just looking forward to watching some of these careers kind of wind down and everything, and watching the younger ones step into the shoes that these older ones are filling in on the way out, and just keep this thing going, keep it rolling. It's a group that, this is something that I try to tell them as much as possible. I don't say it as much as I need to, but I'm very appreciative of them. You know, that they do exactly what they try to do exactly what I'm saying to do. You know, at times it doesn't always look like I envision it, but for the most part, Phil, this group will run through a wall for me, and I can appreciate that. Every coach can't say that about their group, you know, and super proud to be the head of this team, and just want to see how it ends down the stretch and watch some of these careers come to an end and see how the young ones step into it, Phil. But a really good group to be a part of.
Yeah,
That'll be the word I would say. Like the personalities, they're all over the place. It just keeps me on my toes. Hearing just certain comments just coming out of nowhere, different people. Like, what? You barely talk. Now I'm here. You open up and everything, and just a good group to be a part of. A group that means more than just basketball to me. It means a lot to just be around them and have them pop their head into my office every now and then. Mm-hmm.
Great stuff, Coach. Yeah, really appreciate that insight and kind of behind the curtain a little bit what this team is all about, and a lot to look forward to. And the Tornadoes have shown what they're about already, but we've got more to come, and that begins Wednesday versus Pfeiffer. Coach, if you can stick with us just a couple moments longer, we're going to invite in a couple of those student athletes who you just described in the personality of this team, as we've got Josie, Hester, and Makenna Parkins in the building joining the conversation. Coach Hud, most of the viewers, most of NATO Nation knows all about these two, but tell us even more.
Yeah, like the personalities and like the team and like the leadership that I was just talking about, these two are like right at the middle of it, Phil. Most of NATO Nation and everybody that comes to watch us play know these two for really putting the ball in the basket at a high level. But it's more than that they do with this team that they represent. They represent us and embody what I like to call our culture on and off the court. Looking forward to watching them lead us down the stretch. They do a lot more than just put it in the basket. Like I said, that's a lot of leadership right there. They do it in different ways. They can impact the game in other ways than just like scoring the basketball. We got good communicators right here, good talkers, good high IQ basketball players, know when and where to get the ball, and do a really good job of leading and pulling the team in the right direction. They make my job easy, Phil. I'll tell you that.
Fantastic. Well, looking forward to getting to know them even further. Looking forward to seeing the Tornadoes on Wednesday night versus Pfeiffer. That's a 7:00 tip. Hope folks can join us at the Bosch. Coach Hudson, best of luck in preparation for Pfeiffer. We'll see you at the Bosch.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. Always good to be on. Y'all have a good night, ladies.
All right, there he goes, head coach Donald Hudson. And as Coach Hudson helped us introduce these two, we've got Josie Hester with us. How are you, Josie?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. And Makenna Parkins back on Tornado Talk. How are you, Makenna?
I'm good, Phil. How are you?
Doing great. Great to be with y'all. And it's been a lot of fun watching the women's basketball team so far this season. And what a win on Friday as the Tornadoes take down Methodist. Makenna, let's start with you. Interesting circumstances, right? Like the snowstorms coming in. Suddenly we've got kind of a curveball thrown at us that we've got to reschedule the game for Friday afternoon. Take us through, what that meant for the team as far as getting prepared for that Methodist matchup.
Yeah, for sure. We kind of lost a day to prepare once we figured out that the game was going to get moved up. But as soon as Coach Hud relayed the message, we all realized that we were ready to go, even if it was a day early. And I think we got the job done.
Yeah, no doubt. Most certainly got the job done. And Josie, before we get into your performance, now this was a Methodist team that had gotten the better of the Tornadoes earlier this season. I know that did not leave a good taste in anybody's mouth around here that Methodist won that game at their place. Tell us a little bit about that motivation and what you guys, how focused you were heading into this one, knowing you had to get one back from them.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that also had to do with them sweeping us last season. We all kind of wanted to come back with a vengeance, and that's one of the two teams. I would say them and Southern Virginia are the two really, really competitive teams that we think we need to, get this season. So knowing that we came off of a loss at their place, we really needed that win at home, split with them, put us higher up in the conference.
Yep, and it did exactly that, gain that half game over Methodist, now in second place, sole possession of second place, and Southern Virginia, who we'll see on Saturday coming up next after the Pfeiffer game. But meanwhile, Josie, what a performance. Oh my, 35 points, 9 made 3-pointers. Coach Hudson, he said it, that's as electric of an offensive performance as we've ever seen at the Bosch. Tell us what it felt like to be the one, creating all that fireworks, all those points, all those made three. Break it down for us, Josie. What was it like on Friday for you?
Well, in the first half, I really had no idea. And then I want to say early in the fourth quarter, probably something like that. Christina, one of our teammates, Christina Rowan, she was like, Joe, I think you have are about to beat the Coach AB's record or something like that. I was like, what? No way. And she was like, yeah. And she like looked at the sheet. I was like, okay. But I was like, I'm just going to keep playing, honestly. I just knew that my teammates were believing in me and my coaches were going to put me in the right positions. So I just stuck with the game plan, kept playing.
Yeah, and Makenna, would love to hear from your perspective. By the way, you dished out 6 assists. I'm not sure exactly how many, but I think the majority, were to Josie, if not all of them. And Josie, made it happen. Makenna, tell us about that performance that you were able to be a part of and witness firsthand.
Yeah, of course. It's great playing with teammates that you can trust 100%. With everyone out there, I know pass up a good shot for a better shot, and I trust everyone that if you pass the ball to them, they're going to hit it. So yeah, it was a team effort and we got it done.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, next up is Pfeiffer. So Wednesday we take on a Pfeiffer team that brings its own strengths into the equation for sure. And Tornadoes will need to keep up the intensity to get that win. Makenna, can you tell us a little bit about the team's mindset at this juncture of the season and heading into this Pfeiffer game?
Yeah, we're making sure that we focus on each game. We don't want to overlook any of them. We have a big game coming up this weekend, but we're trying to stay focused on Pfeiffer right now. And last season we had a pretty big lead on them there, and then they came back and ended up beating us. So kind of a bad taste in our mouth for them too. So we're just really want to get a win on this one this week.
Yeah, and Josie, what do you feel is going to be the key keeping the momentum going heading into Pfeiffer?
Honestly, sticking to the game plan, limiting our turnovers and the mistakes that we can control, and then really tuning into personnel and locking in on that game plan that coach gives us is really what's going to lead us to winning that one for sure.
All right, Josie, I want to stick with you for this next one because, while you were getting it done on Friday, this 35-point performance, breaking all sorts of records here at Brevard College, Coach AB's record, no longer, now it belongs to Josie Hester. Your brother was making some things happen as well, Charlie Hester. I'd argue this is one of the best, brother-sister performances in any given weekend. We had a posterizing dunk by Charlie on Friday that absolutely electrified the building. He scores 20 points on Sunday, and then, of course, what you got done. Can you tell us, what this meant, to you guys as a family and so forth this weekend? And did you guys have some fun with it as far as, you guys both playing so well and the both teams winning?
Yeah, it was really cool to see my brother do that. I obviously know like he can dunk, like he's good at all that, but I've never seen him like dunk on somebody like that. So I was really excited for him. I also thought it was funny. Our mom like tries to come to all of our games. Like she's almost at all of them. And this is the one that she couldn't come to because of the snow. And it's the one time that him and I had this kind of weekend. So we were kind of laughing about that too. Because it's the one that she was at home.
Yeah, Josie and Charlie Hester out of Huntersville, North Carolina. A big shout out to the Hester family and all the supporters there in Huntersville. And yeah, you're right. What a performance on that Friday. Then Charlie getting it done on Sunday as well. Makenna, senior year here at Brevard College. You're able to come back, for the additional season. Enjoy the volleyball season. You guys had some great moments in a great year on the volleyball side of things, and now your 5th year as a women's basketball student athlete. Tell us a little bit about this season and what it's meant for you personally. To be able to come back one more time.
Yeah, for sure. I'm extremely blessed to get the opportunity to have that 5th year. A lot of athletes don't get that. And so I'm just trying to really take it for granted and soak in all these last and, enjoy my time with my teammates and coaches.
And tell us a little bit academically, Makenna, what have you been working on this year in the degree and so forth?
Yes, sir. So finishing up this semester, I'll just have one class in my internship. And then I'll graduate with exercise science and health science. And I'm hoping to get into a grad school somewhere and be a pediatric occupational therapist.
Fantastic. And Josie, your senior season as well. Tell us what you're majoring in and what the degree will be in.
So I'm majoring in business and minoring in psychology. I do think I'll plan right now is to come back one more semester next year, first semester, to finish out my credit hours from transferring. They got a little behind. But hopefully after that, I'll be good moving on, finding a career.
Very good. Well, it's been great seeing you both as student athletes here at Brevard College. I know we've got plenty more to come, though, in this women's basketball season, which will begin Wednesday versus Pfeiffer as far as the stretch run goes for the NATOs. Before we let you go, you two know the drill. Makenna, we'll start with you. Got shout-outs for us?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank the Lord for giving me the ability to be here and be around these wonderful people. And I want to thank my family for supporting me, and then my coaches as well, my awesome teammates. And then shout out to you, Phil, you and Joseph, for putting on wonderful things like this.
Appreciate those kind words. Josie, Hester, your turn.
I want to say the same thing. I want to thank God for the opportunities, everything that he's provided for us here. Coaches, teammates, my family, my brother, everybody else we have behind us here.
Hey, Makenna, Parkins, and Josie, Hester, great work so far this season during this women's basketball season. It's been a lot of fun so far, but we got plenty more to go. Can't wait to see what's around the corner for women's basketball. We'll see you Wednesday night at the Bosch when the Tornadoes take on Pfeiffer. Thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, a big thank you to our guests, both from the men's and women's basketball programs. And thank you, NATO Nation, for tuning in to another edition of Tornado Talk. Big thanks also to our producer, Sports Information Director, Joseph Marvin, and also KJ Henderson helping us behind the scenes here at Tornado Talk. Well, hope to see you on Wednesday night at the Bosch when the Tornadoes women's basketball team takes on Pfeiffer. There's also a women's basketball game, a huge one, in fact, on Saturday when Brevard takes on Southern Virginia. That's 2 o'clock at the Bosch. Go to bctornadoes.com for all your scores, stats, schedules, and information. And we'll see you at a future Brevard College Tornado Athletic event. Go Tornadoes!